Well, hey there, all you cool cats and kittens. Oh, wait, wrong show. Oh, yeah. Welcome to Econ on this very, very short week of April 6th. Why is it short? Because we are looking at Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and the Monday following Easter off. So, something to look forward to as we just keep grinding for the next 3 days. But in my other classes, I did all the vibe checks and all the crazy stuff and like what to expect. But for our video today, I want to do exactly one thing, which is prepare you for the assessment that is posted to the class page that opens at 11 a.m. So theoretically, if you've been keeping up on the con, which every single person in this class has, if you've been understanding some of the exit slips, and if you get what I'm talking about in this video, you will do very well. As far as the quiz, or assessment, whatever you want to call it, it is 10 multiple choice questions. You should have some scratch paper. It's going to ask you to graph a little bit. It's got 3 scenarios where it's basically just free response, and it says talk through what's shifting and why it's shifting and what happens to the equilibrium price and quantity. And then at the end, I just gave some generic short answer questions. Things like, well, currently this is real. On the east side of Detroit, there's gas being sold for 96 cents. So the unit question is, why does the price of gas fluctuate? Meaning like going up and down, so seemingly randomly. Well, at the end of this chapter, you should know that there are certain things that influence supply and demand that also mess with the equilibrium price. So that's what we'll review today. That's the assessment. I gave 90 minutes to take it. You can take it once on a class page, but this is my first PowerSchool assessment. I just did that because I figured that was like way more time than you needed. So we can sort of gauge based on this. Without further ado, we're at 2 minutes. Let's see if I can get it all reviewed in 2 additional minutes. So, basic idea here, chapter 7 is supply and demand. What is the, I don't know, classic joke? Teach a parrot to say supply and demand and you've created an economist. It's everything. It influences what we do, how we see the world. So, on the demand side, it's the demanders, aka the consumers. They have this really obvious basic thing. We have it. When the price is lower, we want more of it. When the price is high, we say, never mind, we don't want it. The relationship between demand and price is inverse. On the supplier side, the producers, remember I always said think about a babysitter, because the higher the price, the more they want to do it, which seems counterintuitive to us as demanders, but if you have those awesome shoes from Saks Fifth Avenue, Athena, I remember you really liked them, then they're going to want to make more of them because, well, that's just what they want because they want a lot of money. The thing is, after those 2 chapters, you realize, oh, Mr. Turner, that doesn't make any sense because they want 2 different things, which is the perfect way to say that when they meet in the middle, they find equilibrium, and that is what a price is. So on the study guide, it says, what does it mean when price is a signal? Price being the signal of everybody's going to want it and supply it. Another word for equilibrium price is the price or the market clearing price. So like everybody that wants something can get it. So check this out. Once I'm done, this is everything I have reviewed so far today. However, it doesn't always work out perfectly like this. I wish I had a more high-tech version of this, but I don't. You'll see on the assessment that sometimes people are kind of sitting up here. Oh, and by the way, always label your axes price and quantity. So if you're up here, you can realize that the supply has exceeded demand. So if there's, I mean, without even economics, you can just think about that. If there's more of something than people want, what would we call that? We would probably call that a surplus. We call that a surplus. So there's an easy fix for that. How do we fix a surplus? Well, if there's too much of one thing, then we should just lower the price, find equilibrium, and then, well, not as many people wanted it. The price is a little bit lower, so you encourage a few more people to buy it, and the suppliers are happy and the demanders are happy. You're at equilibrium. On the bottom here, sometimes there is a higher demand than a higher, there's a higher demand than a supply. So it's Christmas, there's some crazy toy, and everybody wants it, but there's not enough of them. So we would call that a shortage. So in order to make everybody happy, what do we have to do? Well, there's a shortage. How are we gonna like clear out all the things that we have? We should definitely raise the price, get it up there, and then a lot of people say, never mind, I don't really want it that bad. But the people that do want it can get it, and the suppliers are happy because they're making more money and they're making more of it. Finally, yes, finally, that's pretty much it. Sometimes you will see different scenarios, whether it's supply or demand, and you'll have to, what we just say is shift the curve. So I'm going to use one from the study guide. Always start by just drawing your supply and demand curve. So I'm going to use the one straight from the study guide about the coffee. So suddenly, you're in Birmingham. I've always thought it was crazy just how many coffee shops there are. You got the Starbucks on, what is that, Maple, and then you got the Birmingham Roasters, and then on Woodward, another coffee shop opens up. So in the market for coffee, we would say, okay, what is happening to the equilibrium price and quantity of coffee? So the first thing you have to do is figure out, is there more supply or is there more demand of coffee? I would say because there's more coffee being produced at these different restaurants, the supply is being messed with. Is supply going up or down? Definitely up because there's more coffee. So I would just think if it's going up, do I shift my curve to the right or the left? I'm going to shift it to the right. So let's see. Here's my supply line. I just draw a little arrow. Now I've got a new supply line. By the way, is there a determinant that shows that? Supply determinants. NEIGHT. Number of sellers, expectations, price of inputs, government actions, hand of God or technology. Number of sellers, no question about it. Because there's just more people. So you're done. My one piece of advice for you, trust the graph. Don't try to do it on your own. Just draw the graph and it's there. This was our first equilibrium. Now this is our second equilibrium. So if this is price and this is quantity, we can see now that because of all these new coffee shops in Birmingham, the quantity has gone to the right. So the quantity is up. And let's see, the price to go from here to here, well, that just means the price went down. You can see that the price has gone down. So the quantity went up, the price went down. That's the answer. That's it. Congratulations, you're an economist. Your answer literally might just look like that. Q up, P down. So, parting words. You'll be fine. Let me know if you need anything. Definitely trust the graph. Even when I was making the answer key to the quiz, and I've given the exact same scenarios for like 3 years, I still had a little piece of scratch paper next to me just sketching out the graphs, just to make sure that I had the right model in mind. Trust the graph. With that being said, focus on the quiz. Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm going to have this little assignment that sort of wraps it up and gets us set up for the next unit. It'll be sort of a 2-day assignment to give you guys some time to work. I'm at 9 minutes, so I'm going to sign off and say, use this video, rewatch it, find the parts that you need, log in at 10 to 11 for any final questions. See you!